Good evening, beautiful melanated original black, whatever you want to call yourself, people. So, I want to give a shout out to Fly Nubian Queens for melanated women like me and you. Text the word Queens to 31996. Subscribe, share, support Black media. And again, I'm Tina Berry, straight no chaser with the queen, coming to bring you straight facts. That is no lies, making you think. Because in order for us to have a revolution, and for us to do anything, we have to get the mind right. If we don't have the mind right, the body is not going to be right. Right now, the mind of the black race is corrupted, and it's causing us to destroy ourselves. So just remember that. But I also want you know, when I talk, every aspect of our lives is affected by white supremacy. White supremacy is racism. Racism is the power to control the resources, the needs, the lives of another person. It's the power. Black people cannot be racist. Even when we had the power and owned everything, we gave, we taught, we shared. We did not think about putting people in bondage. So always remember that. Okay, now straight to the point. As I said, our whole lives are affected by white supremacy and we don't see it. And I'm trying to get you to think. Now, what's going on with our weather? We see it. We see the hurricanes. We see the crazy 1 minute is snowing, 1 minute is sunny. The rain is coming. The forest fires. Do you want to know what's going on? Do you want me to give you the truth? How would you feel if I told you that the US is behind all of this and the United Nations? Because they allowed geoengineering. Because these white people, instead of them stop being greedy and doing all this fossil fuel and all this mess they do for man-made dollars, that they're cutting down our trees that you need and I need to live, to print their racist white faces on paper and telling you that it's okay. And because of their actions, your weather is this way. And I know you're saying, huh? What is she talking about? Let me explain to you. White people are not made for the sun. And part of this is right. This little suggestion is my opinion. My opinion, because if you look at science, we are the melanated people. If you don't understand what your skin is and what your skin does and everything, then you need to research it. We absorb the harmful rays of the sun, and we kind of our skin is made to absorb it and use it for energy. It transforms it into vitamin D and everything else, right? So that's what we are made for. So when black people, before this white supremacy, black people were all over where they belong, on the shores of the beaches. It's like we are the filters of the sun rays. And I don't think that people get that. And like I said, this is just my strong opinion. This part, the rest I'm telling you is just straight facts. But this little section, listen to me. Think about it. You have a filter in your air conditioners and everything because the filter catches everything before it lands. We are the original people of the earth. We're made from what the universe is made from. They play with our minds. They tell you the sun is so far away and it's so hot. If that's the case, then how come out in the universe they claim it's cold and it's only warm when the rays of sun hit the earth? Why is it not warm all around? What is in the back of the sun? Why is it not warm? Why the rays of the sun only hit the earth or something? You got to understand, these people know no more than you, because when we as original people were writing and learning and building universities, yes, we had universities, some of the first ones, and court systems and stuff. They came in and stole it, destroyed it, and it didn't understand it, and they're always trying to outdo the black man, the black people. And just like Trump is always trying to outdo Obama, it's in their blood to always try to outdo us, so they come up with shit. Either which way, they have destroyed the earth with their fossil fuels and this mining and all the stuff that they have done. to me, like I said, in my opinion, black people, it's not an opinion, it's scientifically, we are the ones that are supposed to be near the equator. That's why the closer you get to the sun, the darker we are, because our skin is meant to filter those rays, right? And so if you are moving the black people who are supposed to be out in the sun, now you have lazy white people that only could go in the sun. Their skin is no good for the sun. They get burned. They only go out there for looks. Everything white people have us doing now is an illusion. It's for a look. And it's no scientific things behind anything they're really doing, except for behind their greed. So they do we're doing stuff for looks. We spend our money to look a certain way. We kill each other to have a certain way to look in pride. We do this, we do that. We have picked up the spirit of illusion with them while we're dying and the earth is dying. I believe black people need to be on the beaches like we're used to. That's why we need to be all over, and the white people need to go into their places. It's okay to visit back and forth, but when you take a whole race of people and move them from where their original place of with the original places that they're supposed to be, you're going to have a disruption in nature. You cannot take a polar bear out of the North Pole and then just force him. You can keep him in a warm weather and through artificial habitats, but at the end of the day, he's never going to be his full potential. And this is my opinion with black people, and why I see that I feel like and like I said, this is two separate things with the truth and my opinion. My opinion is that black people, you are meant to absorb the sun rays. That's why we were put in these places, and now we have millions of black people. We're sitting indoors. We're not out. We barely can go on vacations all at once. When you go out there, you might spot a handful of black people on the beach, and all these white people, they're not absorbing the sun rays. They're just getting burned. Now, if black people were on the beach, half of those rays, half of the sun would be up. The rays would be absorbed. Our bodies would take it in, and it wouldn't be hitting the earth. So you got another. To me, that is another part of global warming. The other part is that they scientifically geo-engineered to stop the so-called global warming. They are shooting aluminum and barium neo-dust particles in the atmosphere. This has been going on since 1991 when they first started talking about global warming. I'm going to give you like a little article. Let me read you a little bit to let you understand what happened, because with these particles being in the air, they have to come down. So this is what they already know this. They know we're not really going to study. They know most of us in the world now, we have different groups of people that research different things, right? So now they know that only a group of people like me or certain people are going to research this, and most of us are not going to take it serious. By the time you realize what's going on, the world is going to be too big to reverse. They cannot reverse what they started in 1991, and you are not aware of that. You are not aware of what they started is documented that it is making us sick, and it's messing up the weather, and it's unbalancing us. This is why we are sick. This is why we having hurricanes. This is why we having fires and more. So let me explain to you. I got an article from the Scientific Agriculture Weather Engineering that scientific agriculture issue. Oh, my phone trying to die. So either way, what they did was weather engineering. Okay. Weather engineering in the last 2 decades, investigators and researchers around the globe were searching for solutions to decrease global warming. Okay. And the greenhouse warming, the greenhouse warming international agreements has been signed to reach this goal for decades. The Protocol was signed in 1993 by Japan. Nearly all the countries except for 5, including US and Russia, due to the high cost for decreasing emission of CO2 carbon cutback, resulting in mostly from burning energy materials, fossil fuels, and charcoal. So basically, they knew that global warming was a problem, and they don't know how global warming got started. I think it got started, like I said, when it comes, I think it got started with removing black people from their original place, because we are not taught that we are part of nature. We're part of this cycle. And we need to really understand that. You need to understand why you're melanated, why they've used you as energy, why they use you as machines, and they continue to do it to today. You know, our bodies are more than what we are called as black. We are all human beings, but each human beings have special gifts. And it's not that one human being is more better than the other. It's just that we are equipped different. We are made different, just like there's different dogs and cats. That you have little kitty cats and you have lions. You have birds and you have Tweety birds. You have eagles. You have dogs. You have little chihuahuas. You got Rottweilers and stuff. Every human is different. You have blacks, you have whites. But the thing is, it's okay that we're different. It doesn't mean that is anything wrong, but we are different, and we need to realize why we're different and what our functions are in nature. So basically, everybody but the US and the Russia signed the greenhouse agreement because they did not want to stop making their money. Like I told you, they don't care nothing about you. Long as they feel like they can create an artificial environment, they don't give a damn what they do to the natural environment. That's from the gays to the weather to human beings. They don't care. Everything is unbalanced. They don't care, long as they are paid and can live comfortably under the guise that they work hard for what they do. The only thing they work hard at is making sure that the world is still blinded. That is the hardest that white people have worked, the 1%, the racists. So basically, what it was that this we have bad particles in the air because of burning fossil fuels and charcoal. In 1991, David Shane, working in the Hughes Aircraft Line Company, now Hughes Aerospace, in the U.S., patented a chemical solution for global warming. The aluminum oxide formed in nanoparticles called the Welsbach particles were supposed to reflect 2% of the sun's heat back into space, right? And when seeded by the jets, that's why you see the chemtrails. That's real. They're just admitting, NASA is just admitting chemtrails are real. Look it up. Look up aluminum and barium nano dust particles, the effects of it, and what is going on. And you can start putting, like I said, let's think, people. Put your thinking caps on, like they used to tell us in school. Put your thinking caps on. So, put your thinking cap on. They said that these people artificially interfered with nature years ago, and we are seeing the effects. They sent jets, the chemtrails that you see, into the air to put artificial particles in the stratosphere and the troposphere. And those particles are aluminum and barium, and it's supposed to reflect most of the sunlight back into the air. But there's a problem. There's a problem. Before I tell you that problem, shout out to Fly Nubian Queens for melanated women like me and you. Subscribe to Fly Nubian Queens on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Like us on Facebook. Share, share, share. Support Black media. Text Queens to 31996. Okay. Now, the problem happened is that everything was going good after the application of this geoengineering technique over the entire continent of the North American continent. From the period of 1991 to 2000, it decreased global warming by 70%. Then the U.S. offered the international community a global warming project called the SHIELD Project. Okay? And in that project, the Aerospray program, I think it was supposed to it's supposed to last from 2000 to 2050. From 2000 to 2050. So we ain't even made it to the end of this program, right? So the program was approved by the UN. Okay? involving who, as many environmentalists were concerned with the side effects. So let's get to the side effects. Let's get to the side effects of this thing. White people don't want to really work. They want to make sure everything is easy. That's why they are the kings and queens of artificial intelligence and slavery and lies and deceit and deception. That they sent the particles in the air. And so the particles started having side effects. The chemicals started having side effects, and other materials of the spray, when they sitting in the air, they didn't realize they had a problem with it coming back down and falling on humans when it settled in the stratosphere and then back onto Earth. So they had undesired effects. Those undesired effects were being recorded. They recorded that the global application of chemtrails at many parts of the world created low pressure zones, depression in the atmosphere, followed by new wind direction. Think about your hurricanes and tornadoes. New wind directions, strong hurricanes, heavy hail, rains, flood, heavy snowfall, avalanches, more lightning, ecosystem dehydration associated with wildfires. Australia has, I don't even know if the wildfires in Australia is out, but I don't even know if y'all understood just this last month, a billion animals burned and it was still burning. Look at California. These are the results of chemical engineering by these white scientists to block out the sun particles. And you are seeing the results. They wrote it down, it's recorded, and they will not let you know because you are nothing but cattle and sheep. You are expendable to them because they don't give a damn. They can replace people at McDonald's. That's what they're trying to do now. They can replace people cleaning up for them. They got artificial robots. They got everything so they can replace you. And then they're convincing you that the world is overpopulated so they can get away with everybody, so they can get away with their plan of depopulating us just so that they are too greedy to share. They're too greedy to share the world. They're greedy and they're deceiving and they're killing us. Who is they? Who is giving these people? Whose permission? Who is they? The white people, the 1%, the one who own and control the world. The racism, the racist white supremacists. Under white supremacy, our whole lives are affected because they have the power to make all decisions, and we're supposed to sit back and let them make mistakes over our lives, and we're expendable. We're walking and living free science experiments, and we don't even know it. And then they're taking away health insurance. Look at the plan. Think, people, what are these people trying to do? The world is not overpopulated. It's just too many greedy white people. Too many greedy rich white people. The world, we can stop it. If we don't do anything now, we're going to be, there's nothing going to be, there's not going to be anything left. You're working and going to college and you're in the cycle of going and going. You're in tunnel vision and you don't understand. When you look up, there's going to be nothing left for you. Japan right now in Fukushima has been spreading nuclear waste in the ocean since 2011. There is no wall between the ocean. All the oceans eventually run together. That's why you have so many dead fish. We have so much nuclear pollution. They cannot stop it. It's pumping out 300 gallons of nuclear pollution in the ocean every couple of minutes. And you don't even know this. They're going to wait until you die. These people don't care. They're trying to save themselves. At one point, when they had the experiment on human beings, they used slaves because nobody could stop them. Who you think they're using now to test their things? Maybe all these missing black people and missing people, because ain't no millions of people ain't going missing in there. We should be finding bodies by the 10,000s, not one or two here or there. You can't find them because these people are experimenting on them. I guarantee you that. You just don't go from freely experimenting and making breakthroughs in medicine and technology when you had slaves to all of a sudden you go back and because it's against the law. So think about it. That's probably was in Area 51. I don't believe it's aliens. It's never aliens. It's us. They just experiment on us. But again, like I said, they put this. They allowed this geoengineering, and this geoengineering is aluminum and barium dust particles that was sprayed in the atmosphere to reflect the sun, which we as Black people need the sun. That's why sometimes I do believe we're depressed, we're down because it's raining, there's no sun. We need sunlight. If you look up scientifically how you are made, we are energized from the sun. Black people, we don't get vitamin D from milk. It's bullshit. We get vitamin D from the sun. That's why they kept us in the sun in the fields for so long. That's why they couldn't understand how come we didn't pass out, because we are different people. They reject the sun. We absorb the sun. That is a scientific fact. Look it up. Straight no chaser. Okay. So basically, I'm going to tell you again, when they sent the particles up, started documenting in 2001 that they started having undesired effects when they took this project internationally. Again, I'm going to tell you what they started saying happened. It created the chemtrails created low pressure zones, depression in the atmosphere, followed by new wind directions, strong hurricanes, heavy hail, rain, floods, heavy snow. You notice how it just snow out the blue? This stuff is not happening. This has nothing to do with your Bible. This is not the last days. It's the last days of white supremacy, of us living under a lie, but not the last days of the earth. Because if anything, Jupiter, all these other planets show you that even if it's nothing there, it's still up there floating. So stop being deceived. Start doing something about your situation now, for your grandkids and great grands don't have anything. They'll be walking around here living through a mask. We already living through hell. What they're going to be doing, walking around with hazmat suits on just to live? Because we didn't say anything, because we don't do anything. Not doing anything is compliant. Just like the white people who said they wasn't racist, slavery still went on. So if it was enough for them that was against slavery, why did slavery go on so long? You know, we got to do stuff now. We got to start acting now. It heavy winds, strong hurricanes, hail, rain, floods, avalanches, heavy snow, lightning, ecosystem dehydration, meaning droughts. How do you run out of water on Earth when we got ways to filter water? Because they want you to believe that. They fucked up the earth, and they messed up the water, and they messed up the air. And we're seeing the results of it. Tons and tons of dead fish are washing up. All types of fish that are mutated are washing up. That look up Fukushima. Look up 2011 when the Japan nuclear tanks exploded, went into the ocean. It's so hot that any mechanical robots they send down there to cut the nuclear explosion off, it keeps melting. So they can't stop it. And they're not going to tell you that. Look at their movies. They always say, oh, we're not going to start a mass panic. They rather you run around here growing tumors and sick and running around calling these new diseases all these new names that they come up with and getting recognition, but they're not telling you the source of all this. It's right here in their notes. Look it up. Look up the particles and the effects of it. That aluminum is falling down on us. Aluminum and not the lithium, because it was a Snopes or whatever article where they said that the chemtrails are spreading lithium on people. So what scientists are trying to let that article go because it say it's false. No, they're not spraying lithium. They're spraying fucking aluminum and barium. And then if you have a fire and you sprinkle aluminum or barium on it, the fire intenses. Basically, these particles are making it sick. It's getting in our airways. It's getting in our waters. They made a mistake. They made a big fucking mistake, and they're not going to tell you about it. They're not going to tell you the source of it. Just like the source of our root of our black problems come from them and they're in slavery. They're not going to explain that. They just want to keep going on. You know how you in a bad relationship and you don't get counseling and you don't get over the real problem, and you just keep going on until something is completely destroyed where you can't fix it. That's them. They cannot fix the relationship with black people because they first don't want to admit their wrongs. White people do not want to admit that the earth is messing up because they made God mistakes. They have been making God-like decisions, and they have made many bad mistakes that is affecting us in the world as a whole. The finances are a joke. They're imaginary. You can't cut down the fucking trees that we need to breathe oxygen that would collect some of this and print out paper and make you put your face on money and then write a Bible and tell you that God said that money, he gonna bless you with money. He did it. He blessed you with trees. I mean, do you get where I'm going? White supremacy has fucked us up in the mind. We're running around and we're slowly dying and don't understand why. We're sick and everything, and we're putting on spirituality. We're putting on everything but the root of the problem. Now, like I said, these um these particles create in what? Dehydration. So with the dehydration, you have more wildfires and a decrease in air visibility. Moreover, it says in 2003, they had air samples that NASA collected, and it showed the presence of nanobacteria, the agent for calcification of diseases, excuse me, that can attach to sprayed aluminum oxide fine particles, the chemtrails that settled down in the earth and in the rains. Thus, the risk causes diseases, pathogenic bacteria, example, in your gallbladder, kidney stones, heart valves, tooth plaque will be increased in humans and as well as animals. Heart diseases. I'm just reading on and see what else I need to give you out of this article. So either which way, weather engineering scientists developed a chemtrail technology and applied it to jets to spray in the stratosphere to decrease global warming. It worked. The U.S. was behind the UN for a while. They spread it nationally and it went haywire. And it's been haywire ever since. They supposed to have stopped it's supposed to have went from 1991, and then it started again to 1991 to 2000, and then from 2000 to 2020 we're still in the middle. But when it first started, they started testing it here in the US first, from what I'm understanding. That's why you seen the jets. They were telling us it was like whatever sprays. We see them spraying us and they lied to us. Then when NASA was asked about it, somebody said lithium. They got under that. I don't know why these people play these word games to lie to manipulate us. We know they doing it. So either which way, they are spraying aluminum and barium in the sky, and it's causing all of this chaos. If you don't believe me, then Google it. Look it up. Go to a library. Look up aluminum and look up barium nanodust. Look up the projects that the U.S. set forth, the green projects and stuff. What was the other project? It was called the greenhouse warming, the Walshberg particles. Look that up. Understand the effects that it had, and then look around what's going on now. It doesn't take a scientist. It just takes common sense. It takes human beings fighting for their lives, whether you're black or white, because white supremacy needs to end, because every aspect of it affects our lives, financially, mentally, naturally, spiritually. Look it up. Know what's going on around you. Look up the Japanese Fukushima nuclear plant explosion and how long it's been pumping into our oceans. Put two and two together. There's no devil, is man. Shout out to Fly Nuba and Queen for melanated women like me and you. Hit subscribe. Check out my new YouTube page that I'm building now. building Straight No Chaser with the Queen. I'm going to be having black facts and, talking about black issues. And I say things to make you think, to let you see that all we got is each other. And if we don't depend on each other and start trusting each other, we won't have nothing, because the rest of the races has showed us that we cannot depend on them, and that they're not for us. In order for us to be one, as Dr. Boyce Watkins said, black first, in order for us to be that, we have to get our minds there. Wherever the mind goes, the body follows. Peace.